Hey, welcome to Rust Revival Garage. My name's Tim. Got some projects today to finish up on the Pontiac 350. The last really big three major things that I need to do in order to get this thing back in the car and hopefully be able to drive it this year. I need to install freeze plugs. I need to put on the oil pan, and I need to install the water pump. I got a little bit of a situation there with the water pump to figure out. So let's get to it. Never done this before. My biggest fear is that I'm going to try to get them out and I'm just going to poke holes through them, but I've got a punch set and I've got a seal puller. I've seen a couple of videos and people use the seal pullers, so I'm going to see if I can get these freeze plugs out and get these new ones in. Here it goes. Let's go ahead and roll this engine over. Oops. Probably should have taken the valley pan off. And the valve cover. Those fell off. Guess let's start with the one in the middle. The rubber mallet doesn't seem to want to do it. Let's make sure we're not too bound up with the paint. Doesn't seem to want to move. Knock it down a little bit. There goes my other. It's kind of turning. It's starting to drop a little bit. Oh, there we go, but it's down in there. Not what I wanted to do. All right. All right, we got one out. All right, let's see if we can get the others out. Ooh, there's a lot of crap down in there. Don't know if you can make this out, but there is a lot of sludge in there. It's pretty rusty looking, but not too much I can do about that. But yeah, let's get the others out and see if we can get some new ones in. Gotta get these cleaned up too. All right, number two. I'm going to try to get them as centered as I can. All right. As you can see, these had started to rust. I mean, it was really just a matter of time. And more sludge down in there, yeah. There is a lot of rust. But all right, we'll get the rest of these out and start putting new ones in. As you can see, it's pretty nasty. But I want to get all that cleaned out and all of these holes so that I've got good sealant. It'll keep all this out. But yeah, I'll keep cleaning. I'm going to go with the water pump and thermostat housing gasket maker. Basically, it's used to being wet and high temps, so this should be good. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the outside of our new plugs. See how it does. Of course, it's locked up. Let's try this again. Way too big. These are not the right size. Shit. Fudge. Alright, ran over to Jegs and got the correct size for the Pontiac. These Dormans from Amazon, which said, of course, guaranteed to fit your car, is for GM and it is for a 350, but it's not for a Pontiac. You can see these are much smaller. So I got the correct size and it does fit in there really well. So let's get these in. And in case you need the part number, these are the expansion plugs, 87003233. Basically, it's a brass set designed specifically for Pontiac. I think it was like 18 bucks. Gonna get a little bit on here. Not a ton, just want to make a nice coating. And then wipe that around. Hopefully we'll have enough coverage. Okay. Alright, never done this before. So what I'm going to try to do is get it centered on here and then tap it down. The biggest, well, you know what, maybe I can try it with the block of wood that I used on That's not going too well. But it's a good tight fit. I guess I'll just keep pounding away. Might be a little too soft, so I thought of maybe using a 1-inch socket. Don't want to break anything or do any damage. Alright, I'll keep pounding away at this and hopefully I can get it down a little farther on there. Found a bit of a bigger socket. That's doing it. Just gotta keep it level. Alright, we are in there. So it's got a nice little bevel and I think we are good to go. Just got to put in the rest of them. Alright, so that is my first install of a freeze plug. Yeah, got a lot more to go. All right, got all three of them in. Go flip the engine over, do the other side. I'm constantly amazed at the high quality of tools these days. And just completely fell apart. Got the plugs on the other side out and got them cleaned up. Now it's time to put the new plugs in. So the freeze plugs are taken care of. Got them in all the right depth. Made sure there was a nice little bevel around each one. Wiped up the excess sealant. Hopefully that sealant will hold up to that temperature. It's designed for water pumps and thermostat housings, so fingers crossed. But back in the day, I don't think they used any, and so hopefully that will still work. Here's a useless fact. Doing some research for these freeze plugs, I found out they're not actually freeze plugs. They're also called core plugs or casting plugs, and it turns out that people think that the freeze plugs will pop out if the engine doesn't have any coolant or antifreeze in it, and it gets really cold, and in order to keep the block from cracking, the freeze plugs will pop out. Actually, apparently not true. I mean, it may happen. They may pop out if the block freezes, but that's not what they're there for. Because the engine is cast, when they're making the engine, they have holes in the sides of the block so that the sand can pour back out. Then they just fill it up to keep the coolant in. So they're not actual freeze plugs, but who knew? Being the semi-smartish guy that I am, I decided while I've got the block turned over on its side, I'm going to scrape the oil pan gasket because I don't want anything falling into the engine. I know it would be so much easier to just completely flip this thing upside down, scrape it all away, but I have a feeling I would get stuff down in the engine, so it's time to do a little scraping. So I had a chance to clean up the oil pan surface while I've got it on its side. Even managed to get it out. There's still some old gasket material up here, but I at least got it from here all the way down around. Still some more cleaning to be done, but at least it's smoothing up now and I'm not getting anything down in there. If I do get a little edge here, I've been vacuuming that as much as possible to keep it as clean as I can. All right. That is so much fun to do. I got this part of the oil pan nice and cleaned up. Did a little touch up through here. We're looking pretty good. The trickiest part is really going to be to clean this. This whole section, I just don't have a lot of room to get back in there, but at least the major chunks are gone. All the old gaskets gone. I think I can finally flip this over and start seeing if I can get that one piece to work. Got her flipped upside down, and I guess it'd be a good idea to make sure that oil pan fits, how well it fits. We may have to do some slight corrections to make sure that it's sitting on there very smooth. Looks like I've got all the holes lining up. One thing I did notice, got a bit of a gap along here. Let's check on this side. Not as much of a gap on this side. So I think maybe if I can tap it down a little bit, maybe just angle, use a vice grip and angle it. Maybe I can get it on there fairly well. But overall, it's fitting pretty well. So even though this was a stamped piece from 1968, it's doing pretty well. The only thing I can't tell is back here. And I know I should probably have taken this off, but I'm gonna have to basically make sure that it's lined up. And I think what I can do is in this corner and this corner, do a decent amount of some sealant and make sure I start back here to make sure that the holes are perfectly lined up, and then take it from there. Okay, yeah, I mean, other than this corner, everything is looking pretty level. There's actually a bit of a rise right here too. There's a little bit of a gap in there, a little bit of a gap here. So yeah, I'm going to go along and tap this down, make sure I've got good, smooth, clean surface, because I do not want any oil coming out. Yeah, you can see when there's light through there, a good gap right up there, a little bit right there. All right, got some work to do. Decided to check to make sure the one-piece gasket fit, and looks like it's a pretty good match, so I think we're okay to go there. Of course, I might have to read the instructions to make sure I'm doing it correctly, but it does appear to be the right size gasket. Let's get a little paint on our pulley. So basically, I just wanted to make sure I've got all the gasket material out of here from the timing pump cover so that it doesn't push up on the oil pan gasket. I think over here I'm pretty good. Gotta make sure I don't get that down in there. So yeah. Alright, so nice and smooth here. No gasket material left over from the timing cover. Before I closed everything up, I took a last look. Sure enough, I found some gasket pieces down in there. So, yeah, just wanted to do one final inspection before I close up the oil pan. Did a final cleaning of the surface, cleaned it out in here as well, and managed to bend up any of the areas that needed to close the gap, and we should be good to go. Let's check final fitment. Okay, that gap we had is no longer there. I used to be able to see light through it. So I think, I'm going to mark a few more spots. All right, glad I did another check. Went through, tapped it down, bent it down, and I've got good connection now, no more gaps. It's pretty much solid. The last thing I need to do is cut these tabs off. There are no holes or slots in the oil pan, so it's not equipped for that. So I've got instructions basically say to cut these off. All right, so got the tabs cut off pretty much level. Now it's time to put it on. So I want to do a little bit underneath at this corner. A little bit on this corner. Don't want any excess going into the engine. A little underneath on that corner. And that corner. Wiping away any excess I've got. We are all ready. No turning back now. Lined up with the holes. And lined up with the holes. I got my bolts. There are 17. Kind of freaked me out when I saw an odd number, but there are 17. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and install it. Just trying to make sure it's not going to get crushed here in the back. Holes are lined up. Now what I'm going to do is install the front 4 and the timing cover first. Get them flush. Okay, now I'm going to hit the 4 corners. And it looks like this is really off. The holes are lining up, but the gasket is not. Alright, so I'm going to try it again. And I realized I forgot my gap here. There's way too much on that. Alright, so I bent it a little bit here. I'm going to make sure that I am staying nice and lined up. I'm going to put that in there. Okay, take 2. All right. Once again, front 4. New strategy. Going with the 4 corners first. Then I'm going to do these front 4. That one is a little stripped. And alright, so I'll get the rest of the bolts on here and we'll jump back. Okay, we've got them all in. These are going to get torqued down to 12 foot-pounds, but right now I just want to get them all snugged up. Okay, I've got them all snugged up. Now I'm going to do them down to 12. And I'm going to start at the 4 corners. Then I'm going to do the 4 on the timing cover and then do the rest. That's all 4 corners. Now I'm going to do these 4 and we're good to go. Alright, so success. Got everything tightened down, got everything torqued down, and we are good to go. Hopefully there's no leaks. As much as I wanted to go with this water pump, the old one, because of the cast impellers, which everyone says are better, and that the stamped ones are trash, I don't think I can. Not sure if you can hear it, but I don't think that bearing in there is any good anymore. So I'm trying to figure out this situation. Basically, on a 68, there are two pieces. These are the two new ones that I bought. And I believe this one goes on the inside so that there is coolant flow over to here. And I believe this backing plate goes here. But man, the only concern I've got is raising it out too far from the edge. Because I mean, look how far that sticks out right there. And it sticks out kind of far from here too. I actually have been pounding on these, using a rubber hammer to pound on this just to get it as flat as I could. You can kind of see this end here sticks down a little farther. This is actually a 68 1-year only problem. There are two plates. When you have the two plates, apparently it does help cooling and all of that, but I've heard people complain there's a rattle. And there's no gasket that you put in between to prevent that rattle. So maybe if I do a little bit of RTV in there to keep it in tight, and that hopefully can keep it from rattling, but also make sure I've got a good tight fit, because once I get the gaskets on and get the water pump ready and I go to put it on, it's gonna move around and I can't have that. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure something out, I guess. Executive decision time. I basically pulled out my old divider plates and I'm gonna use those because they fit really well. So here's what came out. And, oh, oops, I can get them to stay. This is what was in here. This is flush. So yeah, basically they are rusted, pitted, but they're not gone. There's no holes. They should still work. Okay, the big deal with Pontiacs is that you need to make sure that the dividing plate is very close to the impeller. So this is the impeller here, and it's got these two pieces on it. It's actually a lot bigger and a lot farther away. So if I were to line these up, you can basically see I've got almost a ½ inch between this impeller and this dividing plate. So I'm going to have to really pound this down to get it to be very much closer to the impeller, because I'm also going to have a gasket on here, which is going to raise it up that much more. Yeah, it's a wonder there weren't more problems cooling the LeMans when I was driving it all those years. That is a huge gap. This is the old water pump and the old dividing plates. And there is a lot of room in there. So yeah, whoever installed this water pump last did not do it correctly. I have pounded it down. We're not touching. And I'm really close now to the impellers, and once I've got the gasket on there, I should be fine. Because these do rattle, I think I'm going to do what they did, put a little bit more sealant right here, merge these two together, and hopefully they won't rattle. Don't want a ton, but I want to make sure there are no leaks. So I'm just getting it a little bit higher than normal layer, because who knows, this thing is really old and it could be a little bit warped. Okay, I've got my gasket on, and now it's time to go ahead and add the water pump. make sure I don't touch the gasket surface. That'd be nice if this thing could stand up straight. Not too heavy. Nice light layer all the way around. And we're good. Let's get it up here nice and snug. Not going to torque it down or anything. I'm going to let that gasket material, the sealant, set up. And I'm going to get the 3 bolts in the top too. So I want to make sure that seals up. Then I got to torque it down to, I believe it's 15 foot-pounds. Like I said, I'm just going to snug this up. Let it set for about an hour. Then I will torque it down, but for right now, just right up against there. Okay, it's been about an hour. I've had a chance to let the RTV sort of settle a bit. Now we just need to torque down the bolts. All right, so I started at 10. Now I'm going to go and do 15. All right. Got all 8 bolts. Little Loctite on the bolts. Just gotta get them started. If I had to guess, I would guess that these bolts are standard and the ones in that harmonic balancer are not. Because these are not going in easily. I'm wondering if this balancer has old school metric holes drilled in it because it's from China or something. I do not want to force it and strip them out. Oh well, I'll dig up some bolts, but I'm not going to mess with it now. Okay, that's going to do it for this video. Got all the major projects done that I wanted to get done. Oil pan is on, freeze plugs are in, water pump is on, and now it's just the little stuff. The valley pan, I need to put that back in. Motor mounts, fuel pump goes back on, all that kind of stuff. But for the engine, those are the big projects. The next thing I need to do is jump over to the LeMans. I need to clean out that engine bay and really degrease that. Maybe even paint it a little bit, make it look really nice, and get at least definitely get it clean because it's really nasty. So yeah, thanks very much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe if you can. I really appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. And follow along with me on this journey as I restore this Pontiac. Thanks very much again. Catch you next time.